Current work-based resident permit only allow work in the field or fields for which the permit was requested and granted. It has been possible to change employers within the field without requesting a new permit, provided that the ground for the permit remained the same. Future holders of a worker's resident permit in Finland would also be free to seek work in other sectors where a national labor shortage has been determined. It would not be necessary to apply for a new resident permit before starting this work, provided that the previous permit was still in force. Other question, now I have about 3 minutes, then I will have to finish this video. Other question is, workers could also seek employment in the fields where labor shortage has been verified. Which industries are labor shortage sectors? The answer, verified sectors of labor shortage would be defined by government decree once a year starting from summer 2025. Currently, such sectors would include health and social services and certain service and industrial sectors. So government from summer 2025, they will start to announce the areas where there is a shortage of people, so that you would know there's more demand here of people. Maybe if you apply, you will stand a better chance of getting a job. Perhaps I will have to read now the last two. Okay, actually not a lot of questions remain here. Okay, so other question is, could the holder of a worker's resident permit in Finland seek new employment in a labor shortage sector even while their previous employment continued? Could the holder of a worker's resident permit in Finland seek new employment in a labor shortage sector even while their previous employment continued? Yes, that's the answer. The holder of a resident permit for an employed person would be able to switch to working in a labor shortage sector, for example, seek additional part-time employment in such a sector. Yes, I'm emphasizing this unemployed person because it is the same as unemployed. So we have unemployed person and we have unemployed person. Okay, another question. Will support be available for job seeking and re-employment? Services, now the answer, services and support for re-employment will be provided to international specialists. If work for their first employer ends, please, I have to read that again. I put a comma where it was not supposed to be. Services and support for re-employment will be provided to international specialists if work for their first employer ends. The broadened scope of a worker's resident permit, covering not only the original field but also national labor shortage fields, will also support re-employment. Re-employment services will be provided through the employment services of municipalities and cities. Employment services may also be accessed through international house service points in larger cities and regions. Another question. Should an employer always notify when the employment of a third country national ends? Employers must already report that they have hired a third country national. They should also in future also notify the Finnish Immigration Service when employment ends prematurely. No such notification would be necessary when employment ends at the time indicated in the resident permit. Failure to notify may be sanctionable, most typically by a fine. This amendment will improve supervision of a work-based resident permit. So your employer must report to the Immigration Services office if your employment ends prematurely. That means prematurely means ending before the end of your resident permit. So another question, to whom and how soon must an employer submit the notification? The employer should notify the Finnish Immigration Service of premature termination of an employment relationship through the Enter Finland service. The notification must be submitted within 14 days of the termination of the employment relationship. So this is about employers, it's not about you. Okay, another question. I have only 3 questions left, so I will just finish them off. What is this current stage of preparation of the proposal? The government submitted its proposal to the Parliament on October 17th, 2024. The proposal was circulated for comments between 13th of June to 16th of August 2024. After the consultation round, the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Employment continued further preparation of the proposal based on the comments received and the statement of the Finnish Council of Regulatory Impact Analysis. I think that is informative enough. The other question, when will the 3-month rule become law? So the amendment would enter into force on 1st of April 2025. And the last question for today is, does Finland policy differ from other Nordic countries? Okay, I will just try to read. There is a graph here. I will just read what I can say. Yes, it says time to find a new job with a work-based resident permit. And this, I think I will just post this image here. Okay. So Finland, we have 3 months, which is generally for all, and then we have 6 months. I think we have just read, so I hope you remember. Sweden is only 3 months. I think it doesn't have different cases as in Finland. In Finland, some people can look for a job up to 6 months. I read that category. Remember, we have about those 4 groups. Denmark only has 6 months, and Norway has only 6 months. So this, it looks like it applies for other Nordic countries as well. So Sweden applies a 3-month post-employment job seeking period before requiring the workers to leave the country. The corresponding period is 6 months in Denmark and Norway. The job seeking period is now also regulated by provisions at European Union level. The European Union Single Permit Directive requires all member states to apply a 3-month protection period in the event of unemployment for work-based resident permit, and a 6-month protection period if the resident permit has been in force for 2 years or longer. All member states must implement the directive by 21st May 2026. So now I come to understand that this thing is a European Union thing. So it's not only the Finnish government thing. So I believe maybe European Union is trying to, to regulate this immigration issue crisis. So they all try to, push away everyone who comes to European Union or to Europe, and they don't want to work. They only want to benefit, on the benefits that are here. So I don't know how to think about this. Please tell me on the comment section below. What do you think about this? Do you think this will help international talents living in Finland or Europe? What are your thoughts? Please share it with me. Thank you and see you soon. Bye-bye.